holiday shopping is in full swing and Americans are broke because season hiring hit a 15-year low. What does that mean? That means Americans cannot afford to go out and shop. And so I did a poll asking you guys yesterday, are you going to shop for the holidays and what are you shopping and how are you paying for it? And 57% of people said, I'm not shopping at all. And I've asked, okay, how are you going to pay for it? 33% said cash debit. And 9% said credit cards, and they will carry the balance and then roll that over into January. And then another 3% said, I will do it on buy now, pay later. And I'm just going to finance it into 2026. When more than half of Americans aren't shopping at all, that means we are in trouble. And one of my viewers basically said, I haven't seen hiring signs for seasonal shopping out, and we're going to check that out. So I'm in the shopping mall, and we're going to see if they have on the window that they're hiring for this season, because that's what they used to do. A few years ago, you saw these signs literally everywhere. Nowadays, I haven't seen them, I haven't heard it, so we're going to check that out. And so to give you some context, the articles that I'm referencing it is a lowest seasonal hiring in 15 years. Retail holiday job postings are down 40%. And we're looking at FedEx barely hiring, Target hiring freezes in some areas. Macy's is cutting hours, 7 applications for 1 part-time job. So seasonal jobs that used to save you if you lost your job during the holidays, these days are over, and we're not seeing these posts. And they're saying that last year there was about almost 500,000 jobs created, and this year they're expecting 300,000 max. And so you're seeing it. People cannot afford it. And I got some videos coming also on in a little bit that people are just giving up on Christmas. They're saying, you know what? We're not going to buy. It's too expensive. When we're looking at 70% aren't shopping, that means that people are skipping Christmas. People can't afford gifts. People using credit card plan to carry the balance. Buy now, pay later is just in trend. We're seeing 3% are going to use that. And so Americans are opting out of Christmas. So I'm right here in the shopping center, and we're going to check if there's actually hiring for the holiday signs out, because that's what they used to do. And I remember a few years ago they used to have them, but then since I wasn't been looking for a job, I didn't really look at it. And so the first one is Office Max, Office Depot, not Office Max, and there is no sign. Normally they stick it right there and they say, you know what, let's go and hire for the holidays. Households under 100K do not have disposable income left. Eating out is down 40%. You see restaurants struggle. If there's no line and people aren't buying stuff, it isn't happening. And now we're at Ulta, and normally you see a sign out here too, hiring for the holidays. Store hours 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. And there's also no sign. Normally, when you come in, they had a little binder saying, "Do you want to apply to work for the holidays?" Nope, nope, nope. This is not happening. And this is just shows you that people are living paycheck to paycheck. And if you're making under $100,000, you basically have no money left over. So this is some recalls that it has on it. No public restrooms. They're closed on Thursdays, and no sign out either. And this just shows you that when you close on a Thursday, that means it's probably your slowest day. And this is a very, very wealthy area. And then we got mattress stores. I don't even know how these places stay afloat. But yeah, mattresses probably cost them like nothing to do, and then high margins, but no signs. No signs for hiring for the holidays. And when JCPenney's and others are starting to do return fees, that means that from somebody that comes from Europe, where you can't return everything, and here in the US you can literally return everything. And it's kind of crazy when the retailers are starting to say, you know what, we're gonna have to do some fees. And holiday toy drive, business license, there's also no sign that they're hiring for the holidays, not even a cardboard box that says, hey, get your applications in. And yeah, low margins. Stores are cutting staff. Layoffs are coming in January because if people don't support it, now what was that store? No, that was Davisco, not Dollar Store. Dollar Store's down the road. But yeah, when you're seeing stuff like that, it's just not happening. So if I walk to the next store, let's watch this person basically saying like, "I'm done. We're not going to gift each other anything." And I think a lot of people feel like this. And so if you like content like this and you want to stay up to trend, please like and subscribe. That would really help out my channel and bring more amazing viewers on just like yourself.
Is anyone else starting to think about the holidays or is it just us? I'm normally someone who starts my Christmas shopping really early because I like to get ahead of it, stay on top of it. But we had a family meeting and we've decided that we are doing away with gifts pretty much for Christmas this year. Every year we've been cutting back since the kids were young, and honestly, none of us need a thing. And when I brought it up with the family, we were all in agreement that none of us need a thing. So we decided the kids are not buying us anything, which I always tell them not to do. I'm going to do a little money for each of my young adults, my two kids, boyfriend, girlfriend, niece, and nephew. But outside of that, no gifts. I think maybe I'll make stockings and put their little bit of money in the stockings, but that's it. So I don't know. I just want the focus to go back to the people and the family and not be about everybody stressing about what to buy and wrapping. And, honestly, I don't need another throw blanket, a candle, thing of lotion. And I know the kids mean well, but to have them spending money on stuff that I just don't need so that I have a gift to open is crazy. And I always tell them, don't buy me anything, but, they feel obligated. So we've definitely made the decision as a family. We're just getting out of the gift mode. My stepmother and I talk. They usually give me a little money and they give my husband a gift, and then we give her a gift card for the two of them. And I'm like, it's a wash. She was like, absolutely, let's skip it. So we are going to put the focus back on family and being together and not so much on gifts.
So the last two stores I've been to also no hiring signs. They're not hiring people, at least visible. And when you go online, and I couldn't find in this area that they're really, really hiring a bunch of people. And so you're seeing it that it is just not happening. Now we're coming up to the dollar store and we're gonna check out if they got the sign going on. And this is it. Season hiring tells you businesses are expecting demand, and that's going to ride them into January because in January there's going to be a hole. It's called the January hole where people are just not spending money. They got all these New Year's resolution being less of a consumer, and they want to do no drinking and everything else. And so, yeah, you see it. If they don't hire, they expect no customers, which then results into bad sales, low demand, recession level behaviors. And you can see this one doesn't have any. Oh, look at that. The now hiring sign. This is what I'm talking about. You see that back there? Now hiring. You see the sign? Yeah, the now hiring sign is tucked away. So probably either filled the spot already or then didn't do it. And used to see these signs all the time. They used to have them out front, they used to have them there. And yep, seasonal hiring is a canary in the coal mine. And the canary looks like it has passed away because if there's nobody hiring and people got laid off because they filed like 40,000 warn notices in October telling people that we're not going to keep on going and this has been assured, it's been unrented for a very long time. It's kind of like a lucrative area to do business in because there's a lot of $1 million homes around here. So you think that people would have money, but when auto delinquencies are up, credit cards are maxed out, rent highest in history, groceries, people can't afford groceries, and foreclosures are starting, and yeah, this is how it is going in the US. This isn't one sector failing, it is just people are tapped out across all industries. And this is what I keep telling you. As an American consumer, you need to watch every dollar. People can't afford to spend money over the holidays, money that they don't have. And people have to stop going out. People are skipping holidays. And if they're not, and they don't have the money, they'll just finance it and put it on loans. And so, one of my one of the things I always tell people is, what should you do if you're in a situation like that? And one of the things you should always learn is a high demand skill. And it starts with that. When you have a high demand skill and you can leverage AI, you're really, really on top of your game, depending on what industry you're in. But yeah, over here, people are eating out. It's about 12 o'clock, half or a quarter of the chairs are used. And then we're in a shop, they had no hiring signs out either. And so, yeah, you learn skills that will then carry you into January and you reevaluate, start networking. Networking is like an insurance policy. This is how I look at it. If you're gonna go out and you're like, I'm gonna get laid off, or I'm gonna be laid off in January, December, don't worry, it is not your fault. Don't beat yourself up at it. But you gotta now think, okay, what are my next move? And you gotta put in an emergency fund. I know people are like, oh, I hate that word. And $3,000 or five or $10,000, that's nothing. But at least you got some money set aside. So when you are gonna get laid off, you have something. And then you got to build alternative streams outside your jobs. Do some consulting work, do some gig work if you can. Go drive for Uber Eats or something else where you can do it and prioritize essential. Don't rely on just the seasonal jobs and start paying off debt early, because I'm telling you, you saw that yesterday. If you're having loans at 36%, you will most likely not beat that in the job market or in the stock market. I don't know stocks that go up more than 36% a year. So it is really smart for you to pay off. Let me pay off the debt. And so I can really start off 2026 good. And let's watch this other person talking about, like, what are we selling? What are we doing? Because she's kind of saying it in a sarcastic way, but if you have nothing and your kids want gifts and everything else, what do you do? And so she's basically addressing everybody here.
So, what body parts are we selling to be able to afford our kids' Christmas this year? Because we have three that we have to buy for, and I tallied up their Christmas list today, and I'm gonna have to sell a kidney or a lung or something. Like, we can't hardly afford groceries in this day and age. How am I supposed to afford three kids' Christmas? I'm gonna have to, like, does anybody need a kidney? I have an extra one. My lungs are okay. Anything.
So all these stores for Christmas, for any occasion, you can buy gift certificates. Yeah, nobody's hiring. This is what I saw one sign, but that's tucked away. And this is what I'm telling you. In this video that I just showed you, the comment section does not disappoint. Because what are they saying? I used Klarna and Afterpay last year when I didn't have lots of cash. I might this year too. Just a lot easier to split the total into payments. And this is the problem, that you're like, I'm just going to split the payment into two. At least I can go out and do it. And yeah, you've seen it. Nobody else had hiring signs out. And this is how it goes. And then some other people in the comment section said, I tried to gently prepare my children that Christmas was going to be smaller. Drifting can be a good option. And this is what they're telling. You gotta you gotta figure something out. And that's how you can then gift something or re-gift. Some of my people in the comment section be like, I'm just gonna re-gift. And some of these comments do not disappoint. Listen, I haven't had money to celebrate holidays in decades. And what holiday shopping? And then when you hear reports about, this has been $1 trillion, Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales, and you look at the data, and it's like, who is not really looking so good for the average American? And how do I know that some of these Cyber Monday deals haven't came out? Because they've been running Cyber Monday deals for a week now, and they wouldn't do that if if they could have just did a one-time sale one day and then just be done with it. But then people on Reddit are also saying seasonal hiring is down 25% from last year. Layoff rises, retailers has caution amid weak consumer spending. If you finance everything and you're just going to have to roll all these customers into new credit cards so they can get approved, and you can then go out and kind of expand your business if you need all these people to sign up for new credit cards. It is just not a good look for average Americans. And this is why I always say, get an emergency fund in place, learn about your finances, see what you can afford, and trying to do better next year. But if there's no money and you're already trying the best you can't make it out of nothing. And that's why some of these people are like, oh, you should have saved. If you're already scraping by and you couldn't do it, just saving more isn't going to do it. You need to bring your income up. You got to get a side hustle going. You got to get a skill that's going to pay you more. And yeah, that's what you can do. But all these things take time. You can't just increase your skills from today to tomorrow to then be like, you know what, I'm going to get a job tomorrow that pays me 80 or $90,000 from my 40, 60. And this is where we're at. You're seeing it. People aren't really hiring. And we saw one sign, but tucked away. So yeah, if you watch for so long and you watch my content, I really, really appreciate you. And yeah, let me know how this is in your area. But just texting in the area, oh, my area's packed. How am I? I'm not a mind reader. So you got to say, California, Fresno, in this mall is packed. And then other people in Santa Cruz, this mall, absolutely bananas. There's lines. And I've seen people actually in Las Vegas, they had this outlet where they were running $1 shoes or something, where it's going to be a line because it's a huge deal. But back in the day where they ran these Black Friday big TVs, 200, 300, $400 off, used to get them for way, way less. These days are gone. And of course, people are going to wait in line for $1 shoe, right? If you can get $1 sneakers, people are going to be like, oh, let me just go and get that. I will never, ever be able to pick him up that cheap. But besides that, it's just not looking good. Nobody should be more interested in their finances than yourself. And just denying it and ignoring it isn't gonna do good in the long run. It's not gonna be good. You really have to think about, where do I want to go? What is my dream life? How do I build it? You can build it, and it's gonna be hard. And this is why I tell people in their 20s and 30s, you got to put in the time now. You got to do it now, because the older you get, I'm starting noticing it, and I'm 33, it's harder to wake up in the morning. It's harder when you had a rough day to recover from it. Man, it was in my 20s and I was just grinding how I used to. It's just your body takes longer to recoup. And so I don't want you grinding in your 50s and 60s. And so you got to learn better money habits in your 20s and 30s. And the only way that I've accomplished wealth and bought properties is, I didn't go out drinking in my 20s. I hardly went out partying. I didn't spend crazy money on toys and on cannabis or anything else. No, I cut it all out. And now I'm at a spot in life where I can afford nice things, but it was with grinding. In my 20s, you could have not caught me at the nightclub. You couldn't caught me at an expensive dinner. I was just hustling. And now I can go out on a Monday afternoon. I can literally buy whatever car I actually want. And I would just have to make sacrifices in other areas of my life if I wanted to get a way nicer one. But for me, I say a $60,000 car is my max I'm ever going to pay, because over that, the cost of just being that much nicer isn't there for me. So this one that I gotten was so cheap. So I got it for like, I think like 50, in the low 50s, and the sticker price was like 69,000, and they discounted it so much that with taxes, fees, what are insane in Nevada, was less than 60,000. That's kind of my motto. That's kind of what I do. And yeah, and I encourage you to do the same thing. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. These are just kind of some tips that I've done, how I've kind of done it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. And if you haven't, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.